Good morning, good morning, good morning. Get more gold. Man, I found the secret of getting more gold. More. Simple way to get more gold. There was this guy that had 3 workers, and he was going on a long trip. These guys, he was a bigwig, and these guys worked for him. And he had 3 top dogs in his organization. And he brought them together, and he gave one of them 10 pieces of gold. And he gave the second one 5 pieces of gold. And he gave the last one 1 piece of gold. And he went away for a long time, years. And then he came back, and he brought these 3 guys to him. And he said, all right, before I left, I gave you guys some gold. What'd you do with it? And the guy he gave 10 pieces to came back to him and said, look, boss, I took those 10 pieces of gold and I worked hard and I invested them and I made 10 more. Here you go. And the boss was so proud because he'd been teaching these guys how to do this stuff. So the guy with the 5 pieces of gold came to him and said, man, I worked hard and invested these 5 pieces of gold, and look, I have 5 more to give you. And the boss said, man, you did a great job. You've learned so well. That's awesome. And then the guy with the 1 piece of gold came back and said, well, boss, I know you're pretty hard. You're a great businessman, and I just don't, I'm not a great businessman, and even though you've taught me a lot, I just took your gold so I wouldn't lose it. And I just put it under my mattress, and here it is. You gave me a piece of gold, I give it back to you. Well, the boss looked at him and was so disappointed, and he said, look, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take your gold, and I'm going to give it to the guy that had 10 pieces that made 10 more pieces for me. You guys know this is a Bible story, right? It's a parable. It's very poignant, because we have all been given talents and gifts to be used, not to be hidden, not to be sat on, not to be put under the mattress. So my tip today, not that gold is the prize. Gold is not the prize. The prize is becoming all you can be by using the gifts that God's given you. That's it. And guess what? It's a principle. He has promised that if you work and invest your talents in worthy causes and worthy goals, it will be brought back. It will grow in value. And I think that translates to your personal lives, your relationships, and money. Let's face it, we can't really do much good in this world when we're broke. We just can't. There's nothing wrong with taking the talents and the gifts that God has given us and making money with it, as long as we don't worship the money. As long as we use money and not let money use us. I think it's playing very small when we don't. In fact, I think that one servant that hid his talent was operating out of fear. And I think fear is really the thing that displeases our Father. And I think it really keeps us from reaching our potential. Fear. Fear is a killer. And I think the guy with the 1 talent was just so fearful that his master was going to punish him if he lost this gold talent, that he just hid it. Now there's a couple of lessons here. All 3 of these guys had money to work with, and they took risks with that money. Now they studied, I'm embellishing the story, but they studied what to use their money for, and they took a risk. They could have lost it all. The guy with the 10 talents especially, he could have lost everything, and his master would come back and have nothing. But you know what? I almost think the master would have rather come back and asked them, "What did you do with the talents I gave you?" He probably would rather have heard from them, "Well, I took a risk and I invested the money and I lost it." Because then at least they've learned something, right? At least they've tried. At least they've gotten out of their comfort zone and tried and done something, some activity. They've pursued something. They have tried to use their talents and gifts for something, and it didn't work out. I think the master would have been probably just as proud of those guys. So my point today is, man, let's don't play small. Let's take the gifts that God's given us, especially as we age, you know, in our 50s and 60s. I have a sad story. There's a friend was telling me a story of someone that she knew had been a really great salesman, made lots of money, and had many friends and associates, and he seemed to enjoy that lifestyle. But now he's retired. At 65, he's retired. He sits and watches TV. He's got diabetes. He's overweight. He's had a couple of strokes. It's almost like he's checked out of life. Man, I'm telling you, I'm here to encourage you, folks my age. Let's don't give up, man. We have so much to offer this world, especially our young folks. We have to be an influence. We have to be an example to them. That's the bottom line. Let's show them how to take the talents that God has given them and invest in themselves and invest in risky things, you know, with intelligence, and go for it. I mean, what is life if we're just sitting on the couch doing nothing? We got to be doing something, you guys. We got to be living while we have a chance. And so, you know, let's take our talents and let's invest them. Let's take a risk and let's get out there and work hard and bring back a return. Everything, you know, the Bible says over and over, when you plant seeds, a harvest is guaranteed. It's a principle of life. And so the Lord doesn't guarantee a huge harvest every season. I mean, this year I have some things that in my garden that have done well. Some things didn't do well. But I still plant every spring because there's a harvest promised. And so I just want to encourage you, as we reach these mid-years, let's don't give up on our dreams. Let's don't give up on our talents. We have so much more to offer than what we've given. And it's more honorable to invest and take some risks and grow our talents and multiply and make our investments grow, whether it's in every area of our lives. So anyway, I hope you've gotten something out of that. I hope it motivates you to maybe think about where you're at, make a new start. If you're sitting on the couch drinking Pepsi and eating candy bars and having strokes and getting diabetes, make a change. Let me inspire you to get up, walk around the block. God has ideas in your mind that you've given up on. So revisit those things and let's get our talents put into the world, reaping a harvest, okay? All right, guys. Happy coffee. And I want to tell you, as you can tell, I got my hair lowered, or my ears lowered. You know what the thing, a very interesting thing about getting old is your ears get bigger. And I'm noticing my ears are getting bigger. By the time I die, my ears are going to be this big. I don't care. Maybe I'll hear better. That's the funny thing. Your ears get bigger and you don't hear as well. So weird. So I hope you've enjoyed my little friends that come visit. They're an amazing creature, aren't they, hummingbirds? So anyway, I've had to have to schedule my haircuts at 4 weeks apart now instead of 5 weeks, because my hair, even though it's gray, is growing so much faster. So anyway, guys, have a great day. Have some coffee for me. Be good, love each other, and let's figure out how we can invest our talents and really get out there and play big so that we can be everything that we're created to be. Alright, as always, I wish for you to dream big, work hard, love large, eat really great food, take awesome vitamins, and I can hook you up, and be your best self now. And I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.